That's thank you for sharing that.
Oh, sure. Thanks for indulging me.
Yeah, that was like AM Carlin and FM Carlin, but going off of Radiohead things now, just out of curiosity, 2016, uh, Moonshaped Pool drops. What did you think of it as an album?
I really liked it. I mean, it was definitely, to me, felt like a bit more of a focused, more mature album. You know, like In Rainbows felt like it was, they're playing with a lot of different colors and making like, you know, there's so many different styles of Radiohead on that one album. And I felt like Moonshaped Pool was definitely much more consistent and like a narrower lane. But I don't mean that as a complaint. It was just more of like they focused on something for that. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one of the few Radiohead albums though that I think I probably know the least. Like I've probably only listened to that album through like maybe under 10 times, which is
Right.
weird. Usually I'll burn a Radiohead album to death. Like we're like at this point I don't think I can listen to OK Computer that much anymore. I'll probably listen to OK Computer like less than 5 times for the rest of my life if I think about it, because I've sucked every ounce of serotonin that my brain can release out of that record already. You know, I'll like listen. It's like on a Neutral Milk Hotel album. You know, it's like where I'd listen to like The Airplane Over the Sea 100 times, and now I'm just waiting. It's like I'll listen to it maybe when my child is born, or on like, you know, on my deathbed, or like when my mom dies. You know, I'll like save it for like big life moments. It's
Yeah.
like I have that for a lot of Radiohead stuff, but like Moonshaped Pool, I haven't hit that limit with yet. So I think I have a few more listens in me.
Damn. Well, thanks for sharing that because I think also I haven't listened to it more than maybe 4 or 5 times, but the amount of, to say, emotional damage that Tom
Mm-hmm.
York displays, let alone as a fan, like yeah, like yourself, people have so many B-sides or bootlegs, and they did follow through with a lot of music that they've kept on the back burner for a while that
Yeah, yeah.
was their final project, which I hope not. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's fitting in a sense, but this is
Yeah.
not my interview. It's
Let,
yours.
let me ask you a question though. Do you find that like a lot of times my favorite albums or my favorite music will be things that I don't necessarily understand my first and sometimes my second and sometimes my third listen. Sometimes I'll have to listen to an album like it'll be the fourth time where it will like click and I'm like, I get it, I understand it now. And those are always the records that I find so much more deeply rewarding. Do you have that, or do you generally like kind of figure out what you like immediately and stick with it?
Thank you for asking that. The first time I heard Moonshaped Pool, I remember being like, wow, this is very sad and depressing. But I listened to it all the way through and I was like 7 out of 10. Came back to it the next time. The amount of depth in just the soundscape, and they always get
Yeah,
comparisons of like Miles Davis of 90s bands. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot with that record. But thinking of things now recently, I'm a big Vampire Weekend fan.
Uh
And
huh.
that last album, the first time through, I was like, this is just an Ezra Koenig album, and there's maybe 2 songs that, Rostrum helped him out with. The more I listen to it, it's not only, it kind of is that Ezra Koenig album as someone that when that band started, constant Paul Simon comparisons, constant things, whatever. He's kind of embracing his own life at that point where the band's broken up. And, it's, I think, their worst album, but it's still a solid 8 out of 10 and a really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.